despidiendo de nosotros, de todos ustedes, hasta el próximo jueves. Pero eso sí, ahora a continuación nos pase otro par de temitas. Isma, que es una fenómena. Vámonos a este último tema para que lo baile todo el mundo. Okay, the last song for everybody to dance. Okay, go! Volando voy, volando vengo, volando vengo, por el camino, no me entretengo, por el camino, no me entretengo. Y enamorado de la vida, ¿de qué? Cadete vuela, enamorado de la vida, ¿de qué? Cadete vuela, si tengo frío, prima, ya la cantera, si tengo frío, prima, ya la cantera, vola, vola. Para que la merece, ya que la flor de la noche, para que la merece, vola, vola, volando voy, volando vengo, volando voy, volando vengo, por el camino, yo me entretengo, por el camino, yo me entretengo.
Our plane sets down on the oldest holiday resort of the Balearic Islands, Ibiza. The Greeks called it the Island of Pine Trees, and in the Roman ages it was called Ibiza. It's the island of peace and evergreens where we can find calm in the hot tropical sunshine. Ibiza is only a small spot on the map with its 572 square kilometer territory, but it's an especially good place for relaxation and refreshment. The salty mist of the sea mixes marvelously with the fragrance of pine, olive, almond, and fig trees. The coasts of the island are 170 kilometers long and have plenty of areas as yet untouched by humans. 17 protected natural regions are registered. Their territory covers more than 40% of the island. In the Mediterranean area, Ibiza became a considerable holiday center thanks to its balanced climate and favorable location. The capital, Ibiza, located on the southeastern part of the island, has some 32,000 inhabitants. Its location and architectural monuments rightly make it one of the most evocative cities of the Mediterranean region. From the huge harbor, ships depart to the continent and to several other parts of the Balearics, Mallorca, Formentera, and Menorca. The other part of the harbor, divided by piers, is the anchoring place for fishing and commercial boats. The city can be divided into two parts. The lower part, consisting of the harbor La Marina and the picturesque Sa Peña, and the upper town called Dalt Vila. The heart of the city is the Passeig Vara de Rey, named after the heroic general who died in the Spanish-American War for Cuban independence. A memorial statue was erected for him in 1904. Passing the square, we arrive to the shopping and entertainment zone, where countless shops, restaurants, and bars tempt visitors. The Cala del Mar is an especially quaint little street where boutiques are jam-packed and awaiting customers. Here we can obtain everything necessary for a fortnight's stay. From cheap t-shirts to brand-name clothes, from beach accessories to the latest fashion, everything is sold here. The two attractions of the harbor are the dried-up well, which is decorated by 5 wrought iron lamps, and the pirate's obelisk. We know that this is the only monument in the world that has been put up for pirates, but how did they deserve it? The part of town called Sa Peña is contradictory, picturesque, and very poor. Its whitewashed houses, narrow angular stairs on the streets inspire both painters and photographers. Almost every house has something particular about it. Even today, many fishermen still live here with their families. Clothes drying on the line, small children playing on the cobblestones, stray cats sunning themselves all provide a genuine seaside atmosphere to Sa Peña. Not to mention the smell of fish and that of lunch being prepared. The upper part of the town, the gate of Dalt Vila, was built in 1583 under the reign of Philip II. Formerly, a suspension bridge stood here. Now a stone bridge stands in its place. The district, surrounded by walls of 22 meters, is connected to the lower town by 3 passageways. Its narrow and steep alleys with stone block foundation remind us of the distant past. The Carthaginians and Romans lived here between these walls, later Arabs who were expelled by the Moors. Hoping to spread the Islam religion in Europe, they later occupied Spain and reached the boundaries of France. The Islam reign became weak, and the Christians set Ibiza free at the beginning of the 13th century. Guillermo de Monte's Catalanian army triumphed over the Moors. Next to the castle wall, steep stairs lead towards the protecting bastions and the castle, from where we can have a view of the city below us and the crystal clear blue sea. On the other side of the bastion, picturesque white houses are lined up in a row. The castle's been under reconstruction for years, but the restoration of the cathedral has already been completed. During reconstruction 5 centuries later, only the bell tower and some smaller parts of the 13th century Gothic building remained in their original shape. The others were done in Baroque style. The treasury of the cathedral preserves the king's crown, jewels, silver and gold cups, and ornamental weapons. There's a brilliant view from the church square, the fresh sea breeze swaying colorful clothes between the houses and flags on their masts. Looking to the east, we can see the Botafoc Lighthouse in the immediate neighborhood of Talamanca Bay. We continue our way on the southern coast of the city, along the famous Promenade Playa de Bossa, encircled by palm trees, where a multitude of shops and eateries ensure we will not be bored. In the travel agencies on the main street, ample information is available on various optional activities. This is the largest beach on the island, running for several kilometers. It's quite shallow and has extremely fine sand. In addition to the entertainment on Playa de Bosa, sports also play an important role. We can windsurf, water ski, and play volleyball. The slides of Aquamar Park provide amusement for both young and old. The only river of the Balearic Islands with a constant flow is the Santa Eulalia, that also gave its name to the city situated next to it. It winds 11 kilometers before emptying into the Mediterranean Sea. The parish church was built on Puig de Missa Hill in the 14th century. The building with its square-shaped ground plan reminds us of a medieval fortress due to its semicircular arched watchtowers. From the arcaded entrance hall, stairs lead up to the church. Sant Antonia, a formerly quiet small town situated 15 kilometers from the capital, has become a swarming vacation center. From the tourism point of view, it occupies second place on the island. Group excursions both by ship and bus depart and arrive here. Its long sandy beach is popular among visitors who are mainly of the younger, more active age group. We'd better not search for a traditional city center here. There isn't one, neither on the beach nor on the top of the mountain. Mostly the Promenade can be called the center, conjuring the thoughts of the Rambla in Barcelona. Palm Park provides cooling shade for those wishing a rest and for the local sellers. A great number of writers and other artists settled here throughout the years. The open-air exhibition of paintings can be viewed, except at siesta time, almost continuously along the promenade leading to the sea. Most streets run together and lead to the sea. The Hippie market is held on each Wednesday on the territory of the Punta Arabi to the east of Santa Eulalia. In the 60s, first of all the islands of Crete and Ibiza became home for freedom-loving hippies, many of whom finally settled down in these places. Those hippies who've since aged, but have failed to become wiser, sell all kinds of partially self-made souvenirs. Visitors to the market who were already alive in the 60s can consider their visit as a kind of trip back in time. The 3-kilometer-long sandy Playa Desfigural is the favorite place of those desiring rest. The bay offers cloudless relaxation and beautifully untouched parts of the seaside for lovers of water sports and sun. Opposite Cala San Vincent Bay, located on the northeastern part of the island, there's a 1.5-kilometer-long rocky island emerging out of the water. This is Tagomago, which we can reach by boat. The wide, blue-watered bay is protected on the east by a steep-walled tongue of land, the Punto Grosso. Its beach is narrow, partly sandy, and partly pebbly. Towards the inside of the island, there are hotels and apartments. Few tourists visit the picturesque Cala Desera because its calmness and the variety of the land have not yet been discovered. Some 3 kilometers before Portinax is the marvelous bay of Cala Desera, with both rocky and sandy parts. The beach has beautifully clean water, making it popular with all tourists. The rocky segments have many nice surprises in store for divers, fishermen, and those on day trips. San Miguel Bay, which is very similar to a fjord, is completely closed in by the cliffs of Cap Bernard and the mountains of Punta de la Sapero. Opposite the bay on a small island, there's a watchtower which used to protect the inhabitants against the attacks of pirates. Under the protection of the coastal cliffs, small, intimate, smooth, sandy bays are tucked away. The small church dedicated to Archangel Michael used to be a refuge, and today it's a place of pilgrimage. The stalactite cave Conmarca extends inside the mountain above the bay. we can admire hanging stalactites and other natural miracles during a 1-hour light and sound show. During our journey, we definitely should stop at a local potter's workshop where we can buy beautiful pieces. Ceramics are among the highest quality goods sold on the island. The restaurants along the roads await their guests with polite service and specialties of the Catalanian cuisine. The second largest city of the island is San Antonio with 20,000 inhabitants, which has risen to the tourist center of the West Coast over the past few decades. From the seaside, we can only see the multitude of white skyscrapers. This is the new hotel skyline. The gently sloping sandy beach of the city has contributed considerably to the development of a faster, improving holiday resort fulfilling all needs. In high season, the number of residents increases dramatically, and in the radius of 10 kilometers around the bay, more and more holiday camps have been constructed. An acrid mixture of the scents of salt, seaweed, and fish emanates from the fishing boats. It's worth it to take a long walk along the coastal promenade. In the water, several ships are waiting for their passengers. There are fishing boats and luxury yachts, motorboats, and excursion ships as well. During the daytime, life is not so lively on the Plaza de España, but all the bars and cafes become jam-packed each evening. One glance at the program recommendation is enough to see that from spring to autumn, a wide range of religious and secular holidays offer visitors amusement. The first Sunday in May is a fiesta in Santa Eulalia, a spring holiday and a flower show. June 23rd to 24th is the Day of John the Baptist with fireworks and fun in the capital and in San Antonio. On July 10th, St. Christopher's Day is celebrated in San Miguel. July 16th is a St. Carmen festival. On this day, a rowing competition is held in Ibiza and on the following Sunday in San Antonio. The beginning of August is the holiday of Ibiza's patron saint, with a parade of marching bands, public concerts, folk dance, and religious ceremonies. St. Bartholomew's Day, August 24th, is celebrated with concerts, high mass, carnival, and fireworks in San Antonio. September 8th marks a religious festival held in Santa Eulalia called Fiesta de Jesus. On September 29th, St. Michael's Day, a religious festival full of folk performances, is held in San Miguel. The smaller settlements also try to participate in the general merrymaking. In many places, festivals are held with parades, flea markets, and concerts. The Cara Rambla leads to the San Antonio Parsonage. The church was built in the 14th century on the foundation of a former mosque, and it provided protection against attacks coming from the sea. The favorite meeting place of the young, Café del Mar, is on the west side of the city. Here they relax in their deck chairs on the beach, but a lot of them also gather together here in the evening. Near the entertainment center, we can easily find a hotel to suit our every need.
Sentir por el
lot of young people sitting on the sand watch the sunset from here, which is the overture to the light-hearted amusement lasting until dawn.
Si tú no te das cuenta de lo que vale, que el mundo es una tontería, si manejando que se escape lo que más querías que fue.
Approximately 2 kilometers to the east from San Antonio, we find the Cap Blanc Aquarium, which gives a glance at the extremely rich fauna of the Mediterranean Sea. Not only fish and other creatures are special, but even the artfully shaped cliff basins. To the south of San Antonio are a line of famous bays and beaches of the island. The fans have a savory debate whether Bassa, Conta, or Vadella Bay is the best, but the truth is that each provides some kind of specialty. The long extending Cala Bassa is a popular bathing place with its flat, sandy beach. The sandy, flat Cala Conta is the favorite of small children. Bathers with some artistic sensibility have carved statues into the steep, sandy walls of the bay. In the course of the modernization program, more and more hotels and residential areas have been built on the island, according to the expectations of the 21st century. Cala Vadella is the citadel of Spanish and international tourism, satisfying all demands. Its surroundings are rockier and more romantic than those of the other two beaches. The 2,300-meter-long sandy beach is situated in the windless half-arch of the cliffs. The narrow but excellent beach of the marvelously situated Cala with its crystal clean water is a favorite of many tourists returning here year for year. We get a picturesque view as we catch sight of the cone-shaped Escadrille and the crescent-shaped Pedronel Islands. For the sake of the view, it's worth climbing up to the small chapel located on the plateau. At the bottom of the plateau, a small beach is concealed. The lookout point offers a spectacular view of the bay below. San Jose, which has preserved its traditions, is the richest city on the island. The parsonage standing on the main square with its huge white facade is the most interesting church of the island. The way into the inner area is through one of the three archways that are characteristic of architecture in Ibiza. The typical color in Cala Bay is red. This is a wonderful world with naturally created red cliffs, russet sand, beautifully in contrast with the blue of the sea. The night in Ibiza is unforgettable. We can spend our holiday at any point of the island. The restaurants, the discotheques, the world-famous amusement places are jam-packed with young people and those who would like to feel young. Separate disco buses depart to ensure that nobody will miss the joys of the local nightlife. No closing time, but there's a guarantee against boredom.
Era una noche de invierno que llovía chaparrones. Un niño me decía, Joselito, dame frioles. La fragua estaba encendida y su marihuana cantaba. Y su padre lo hacía, y a calladita gitana. Ay, José, yo te canto camarón. Te canto pa' que me cante y me alegre el corazón. Ay, José, yo te canto camarón. Te canto pa' que me cante y me alegre el corazón. Así es. Y ahora va a cantarse, y ahora va a cantarse. Era una noche de invierno que llovía chaparrones. Y un niño mujer decía, Joselito, dame frioles. La fragua estaba encendida y su marihuana cantaba. Y su padre